Welcome back to the Think CSEC channel. If you're visiting this channel for the first time, we want to say welcome. And if you have not yet subscribed, just pause this video and just go right ahead and click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that you are alert when new videos are posted. So today we'll be doing the CSEC Office Administration May-June 2015 Paper 2. So let us get right into it. So the first question says, the instruction you're to answer all questions in this section. Number 1A, computer literacy and proficiency in the use of productivity tools and office equipment are essential skills for office workers. Differentiate between 1. Computer literacy and productive tools. And you are going to get 2 marks for this. So let's look at the answer. Computer literacy is basic working knowledge of a computer and its related software, or the ability to use and browse the internet. Whereas productivity tools are a wide range of programs or software such as word processing, database, desktop publishing, desktop publishing, and spreadsheet designed to increase efficiency at work. So that is our answer. Computer literacy is basic working knowledge of a computer and its related software, or the ability to use and browse the internet, whereas productivity tools are a wide range of programs or software such as word processing, database, desktop publishing, and spreadsheet designed to increase efficiency at work. So that would be your answer. Let's move on to question number 2. You are to differentiate between collating and addressing machines. So what is the difference? Let's get into our answer. So then, a collating machine is an equipment that assembles the sheet of multi-page documents from stock, places them together, and repeats the process until the stock is finished. Whereas an addressing machine is one that prints mailing addresses, barcodes, and customized messages on letters, envelopes, and labels. So let us say that again. Collating machine is an equipment that assembles the sheets of multi-page documents from stock, places them together, and repeats the process until the stock is finished. Whereas an addressing machine is one that prints mailing addresses, barcodes, and customized messages on letters, envelopes, and labels. So that would be your answer. All right, let's move on to number question 1B. It says speed dialing and electronic top-up are two services that a telephone company provides. Describe the features of each of these. So we're to describe the features of the speed dialing and electronic top-up. So what is our answer? So here we have it. Speed dialing. This service allows many modern phones to store frequently called numbers in the memory. The numbers can then be dialed automatically by simply dialing one digit instead of all the numbers. Let me go over that again. Speed dialing. This service allows many modern phones to store frequently called numbers in the memory. The numbers can then be dialed automatically by simply dialing one digit instead of all the numbers. Let's look at electronic top-up now. Electronic top-up. This feature automatically or instantaneously credits mobile phones with the amount of credit that is purchased. And we're all familiar with this. When we buy credit from a store that uses a machine, automatically we get that credit, the amount that we purchase to our telephone bill, to our mobile phones. Okay. So again, electronic top-up. This feature automatically or instantaneously credits mobile phones with the amount of credit that is purchased. Okay, let's move on to question number 1C. It says, your friend Eric Lewis has seen a job vacancy for a receptionist at a five-star hotel in town. He feels that the job would be ideal for him as it satisfies his personal taste. The image of the firm also appeals to him. Compose two questions, each on personal taste and the image of the firm that Eric should consider before applying for the job. So, what are two questions on personal taste and two for image of the firm? What are two questions that Eric should consider before? So, here we go. Personal taste. Here are some questions. One, he would ask himself, do I like to work with people or customers or machines? Two, what are my preferences, desires, or needs? Three, what attributes or qualities or attitudes or skills are required? Four questions that he could ask. Am I shy or outgoing or prefer to work behind the scenes or in the limelight? Five, what do I want to achieve from the job? Is it worth the sacrifice or training or pay? What are the working hours, shift or overtime, weekend or public holidays? And how do these fit with personal plans or responsibilities? Is it specialized work? Is it specialized work, or is there a need to wear, or is there a need to wear uniform? Is it a large or small family-oriented business? No. Any two of those questions you could select from. Any two. So you have gotten a number of questions, about 6 or 7 of them. So what you can do is write any two from the list. So you have a variety that you could give for your answer. Let me go over them again. 1. Do I like to work with people or customers or machines? 2. What are my preferences or desires or needs? 3. What attributes or qualities or attitudes or skills are required? 4. Am I shy or outgoing or prefer to work behind the scenes or in the limelight? 5. What do I want to achieve from the job? Is it worth the sacrifice, training, or pay? 6. What are the working hours? That is the shift work or overtime, weekend or public holidays. And how do these fit with personal plans or responsibilities? 7. Is it specialized work? Is there a need to wear uniform? Is it a large or small family-oriented business? So any of these questions you could select two from. Let's go on to the image of the firm. What are some questions that Eric should consider before he applies for the job? The first one he could ask himself, what is the reputation of the firm? Or how well is the firm known? Or what is the public's perception of the firm? You could select any one of those 3 questions. They're basically all saying the same thing, but it's just phrased in a different way. Another question, would workers be proud to work with this firm? What are the working conditions or benefits? Is the quality of the goods or services of a high standard? What are the business practices? What is the level of job satisfaction or social responsibility, personal contribution or input? Is the firm a new company? Does the public knowledge of the company? Is it an established company? You could phrase it in any way. So you have a numerous amount of questions that you could select from that Eric could ask himself before he consider the job. All right. So you can always pause the video if you want to take notes and write those. All right, let's move on to question number 1D. It says, your colleague who works as a clerk in the human resource or HR department had to attend to urgent personal matters overseas. As the data entry clerk, you were deployed to her desk, but without any information as to what the position entails. 1. Suggest one duty not performed in the data entry position which could be required in the HR clerk's position. Let's look at some of them. Right? So, one duty that is not performed in the data entry position would be assist with the recruitment process or functions of the HRM office. That's one. We know the HR, Human Resource Management Office. Two, prepares for interviews. Three, manages appointments or handles calls. Four, organizes meetings, uses equipment efficiently. Five, keeps information confidential, stores or keeps personal records, forms, or documents. 6. Liaises with other departments. 7. Prepares various forms of business communication. 8. Attends to staff welfare. So we have 8 that are listed here. You just only need to select one, but you get a number of duties that you could write as your answer. So you just only need to select one from the above, but you get a variety of listed information that you can select from. So that is one duty that is not performed in the data entry position that would be required in the HR clerk's position. All right, so you could pause the video, take notes as usual, and list them. Let's go on to number 2. Explain one way in which a job description for the HR clerk's position could assist the data entry clerk to perform her new role effectively. So we're going to explain one way now, and you're going to get 2 marks. So let's see. So it says here, informs the clerk of the specific or main duties of the position to be performed, the summary or purpose of job. So you explain that in details. Number 2, shows required knowledge, skills, attitudes, attributes of persons who hold positions in the organization, states minimum qualifications and experience required for the job. Another answer, outlines reporting relationships as identified in the organizational chart. So that is how you would explain, and you can always explain a little more in depth. So those would be 3 answers that you could select from for question number 1B2. So you will get 2 marks. So you got 3, you can select 2 from that. All right. Let's go on to question number 2A. It says, list 3 characteristics of an effective records management system. So we're going to list 3 characteristics. So we have 1, accountability, 2, expansion, 3, access, 4, security, 5, compliance, 6, reliability, 7, suitability. So you have 7. You just need to select 3 of those characteristics and you will get your 3 marks. So you list them 1, 2, 3. So you have 7, to be that you can select 3 from. Okay. So let's go on to question number 2B. Explain the meaning of the term defamation as it relates to legal issues. And you're going to get 2 marks. So what is defamation? Here we have it. Defamation is a false attack on someone's good name. It is an injury to the reputation or character of someone as a result of false statements or actions of another person. It is also an improper and unlawful attack or violation against a person's proprietary right to their good name or reputation. So there we have it, what defamation is, and you will get 2 marks for that. All right. So let's move on to number 2BI. Infringement of copyright is the act of reproducing or imitating other person's ideas or inventions without permission. State 2 examples of works that may be copied by an unauthorized person. So state 2. So let's state them. 1, we have 2 examples such as 1, writings, 2, musical works, 3, dramatic works, 4, stage productions, 5, audiovisual works, 6, illustrations, 7, photographic works, 8, architectural works, 9, drawings or paintings or tapestry and other fine art, are sculptures, sound recordings, software and computer programs, and CDs. So you have a numerous amount of works that you can select from. Numerous, right? So many of them. But you just only need to take 2 from these answers. So you could write writings and musical works or whatever 2 you want to select. Any of these answers would be correct. You would get your full marks from CXC. Let's go on to question number 2C. Sam works as the records and information manager in the computer department of a large company. He reads the following extract on the minute sheet from his assistant. First one, 10 laptops purchased for supervisors over the last calendar year cannot be accounted for. 2, Reports were not submitted on a timely basis by two supervisors over the last 3 months. Draft a follow-up comment that Sam could write on the minute sheet to ensure that appropriate action is taken to address the matters in the extract. So you're going to have to draft up a follow-up comment now. So let's see. What he could write. So here we have it. 1, he could write, identify the persons not submitting reports on a timely basis and reasons for lateness. You could write that as a comment. 2, conduct an audit of the laptops, ensuring all can be accounted for. 3, you could schedule a meeting for supervisors to discuss issues at hand or actions to be taken. 4, could implement sign-in and sign-out procedures for equipment borrowed or returned at the end of the day. So all of those could be a follow-up comment that Sam could write on the minute sheet to ensure that appropriate action is taken to address those matters that we read earlier. So those are four comments that Sam could include on the minute sheet. Identify the persons not submitting reports on a timely basis and reasons for lateness. 2, conduct an audit of the laptops, ensuring all can be accounted for. 3, schedule a meeting for supervisors to discuss issues at hand or actions to be taken. Or 4, implement sign-in and sign-out procedures for equipment borrowed or returned at the end of the day. So those are some things that could be written. So you just need to take 2 from that and you will be rewarded 2 marks. So you got 4, you can select 2 for your answer. Let's move on to number 2D. You work in a large government ministry which is in the process of transferring information from filing cabinets to an electronic database. I outline 4 precautionary measures that should be considered in moving from a manual to an electronic mode of information management. So let's see what's our answer. So 1, ensure accurate and complete transfer of information to electronic mode by knowledgeable trained staff. 2, use passwords, secure, systematic, and cost-effective methods. 3, consider present and future volume of records or nature of work. 4, cost of equipment, hardware or software or training or maintenance. 5, maintain confidentiality or backup system. 6, ease in handling equipment, efficiency of access, accountability or expansion. 7, centralized or decentralized system. 8, amount of space required. So those are some precautionary measures that should be considered from a manual to an electronic mode of information management. So you have 8 of them that you could write, but it only says 4. So you would select 4 from those 8, any 4, any 4. Okay, all right, and you will be rewarded with 4 marks. So you just select 4 from that. Number 2, no, 2B2. Explain one benefit to the organization if computers rather than filing cabinets are used. So we're going to explain one benefit of using a computer rather than a filing cabinet. All right. So what's one benefit? Well, information can be stored and retrieved or modified quickly from any location. 2, greater security options. For example, use of passwords or specialized staff, use of backup on secondary storage devices, for example, jump drives. 3, greater volume of information can be stored. 4, less paper handling or work, thus creating more space. 5, more accurate updates are reduced, obsolescence, less mix-up of files in borrowing and returning. So those are the benefits of using a computer against a filing cabinet. So we have 5 benefits that you can choose one from. So you just need to take one from these 5 for your answer. Any from the 5 and you choose one, you would get your answer correctly. All right. So those are some of the benefits of using a computer. Let's move on to question number 3A. Identify 3 records that may be regarded as corporate records. So we're going to identify 3 records. What are those? We have 1, minutes, 2, sales records, 3, statements of accounts, 4, registers, 5, contracts, 6, constitution bylaws, 7, shares certificate, 8, certificate of payment of taxes. So any 3 from these 8 you could select for your answer. Any 3. Okay. So let's go on to number 3B now. State one legal requirement for holding statutory meetings. One legal requirement. Let's look at some answers. 1, the meeting must be held between the company and its members within a period of 1 to 6 months from the date on which the company commences business. That's 1 legal requirement. 2, meeting is required by law to ensure open communication between directions directors, and shareholders. 3. Meeting must follow the same format as an AGM, annual general meeting, held once per year. For example, agenda, quorum, declaration of dividends, election of officers, statutory reports, and you list them. So those are 3 legal requirements. Again, the meeting must be held between the company and its members within a period of 1 to 6 months from the date on which the company commences business. 2. Meeting is required by law to ensure open communication between directors and shareholders. 3. Meeting must follow the same format as an AGM held once per year. For example, agenda, quorum, declaration of dividends, election of officers, statutory reports. All right. Let's move on to question number 3C. State 2 pieces of information that are usually found on an e-ticket for a flight. So let's look at what do we find on e-ticket for a flight. We find a ticket, flight/seat number. Number 2, we'll find the dates or times of arrival and departure. 3, we'll find the airline or class of flight. 4, we'll see the place of departure or destination. We'll find the passenger name. 5, and we'll find the fare paid and the baggage policy. All of those you would find on an e-ticket for a flight. So any two from these would give you your full marks. You'll get 2 marks. So let's move on to number 3D. It says, Carrie Lindo, the administrative assistant, was given instructions by the principal of Quality Academy to prepare a notice of meeting. All senior teachers must be informed that the staff meeting of the academy will be held in the boardroom on 28th of August 2015 at 10 a.m. Based on the information given, write the notice the administrative assistant would place on the staff notice board. So you are going to do this, but we know I just list the guide that you would need to do to include in your notice. So these are some important details that you need, that you must ensure that is in your notice. 1, the name of the document. 2, notice for senior teachers meetings. 3, the venue as well as the date and time. So ensure that when you're writing your notice, all those things are included. The name of the document, ensure notice for senior teachers is included, senior teachers meeting, the venue, as well as the date and the time. So those things are what you should ensure that is included in your notice. All right, so you could write that up. You will get 4 marks for that. Let's go on to number E, 3E. It says a curriculum officer is going out on a tour of educational facilities in a country which is affected by yellow fever. He needs to obtain a visa and health certificate. Explain why it is necessary to obtain each of the documents mentioned above for use on the trip. So why is it necessary that a visa is needed? Why you have to get this document? What's the purpose of the visa? Well, it is necessary to obtain a visa because it is a document that assures an immigration officer upon arrival at the port of entry into another country that the individual has permission to enter that country and to remain there for a limited duration. It shows that one is eligible to enter another country, or that the visa allows individuals to pass through immigration smoothly as specified by certain countries. So you could write any one of those two. So that's the purpose of a visa. All right. So let's move on to health certificate. Why he needs to get an health certificate? Well, the health certificate provides proof that the person entering the country does not have any communicable disease and has been vaccinated against these diseases. It assures the immigration officer at the port of entry that the traveler is not bringing any contagious disease into the country or on re entering the home country. So that is what an health certificate, that's what it proves. And you will get 4 marks for that. So it's quite a lot. Okay. All right, let's move on to question number 4A. And this section says, answer any 3 questions in this section. 4A says, 2 of the functions of the HR Management Office are as follows: recruitment and induction. Identify one task that must be performed for each of the above mentioned HR management functions. And you're going to get 2 marks for this. So let's look at recruitment. What are some of the functions? Okay. 1. Identify the vacancy or kind of person required. Do background check. 2. Ascertain skills or qualifications, attitudes, and attributes person should possess. 3. Decide whether post should be filled internally by promotion. 4. Advertise vacant positions if selection is necessary or identify interest. 5. shortlist and interview applicants. 6. Select or hire suitable person to fill the vacancy. 7. Employ person if proven medically fit and have person sign a contract of employment. So those are some of the tasks that you would select from. Anyone from those 7 could be your answer. That the HR management functions. All right, let's move on to induction. 1. Tasks such as identify training needs or conduct training or orientation sessions. 2. Welcome or introduce new employees to the organization. 3. Allow new employees to meet other newly recruited persons. 4. Acquaint team with the environment, activities, and personal or human resources of the organization. Next one, empower new employees to adjust or appreciate their new posts with ease. For example, know what the job is about. So any one of those tasks that the HR management office would carry out those functions. All right. Let's go on to number 4B. State 2 types of leave other than vacation leave for which an employee could request time off from work. So 2 types of leave other than vacation leave. We have maternity or paternity. We have sick leave. We have compassionate or bereavement. When someone dies, we have study or education. We have unpaid or no pay. We have emergency leave. We have casual department or special leave. So those are some types of leave that employee could request time off from work. So we have a number of them. So you can select any two from these. Any two, and that would be your answer. Let's move on to number 4C. Says, give 2 external factors that contribute to employee turnover. So let's look at some external factors. 1. State of the country's economy. 2. Competition for job placement. For example, incentives. 3. Better opportunities or pay. 4. Migration. 5. Globalization. 6. Social climate factors or location. So you could select any 2 from these 6 for your answers. So any 2 from this, and you will be rewarded 2 marks. Let's move on to question number 4D. Okay, so we have this question is an invoice, right? So you are going to do this one at home, right? It tells us, what are some things that was purchased from Best Buy Company Limited. So tells us 10 memory sticks, 8 gig at 750 each, 15 packs of HP Desk Jet ink cartridges at $500 each, and 20 boxes of A4 paper at 100 each. So, and then after you do that, you're going to find 10% trade discount, and then after that, you're going to find a 5% cash discount if the net amount is paid within 10 days. So we know how to fill this out: the unit price, the cost of the item, the description, what the information is about, and the quantity, the number that was being purchased. And to get a total, you multiply your quantity, the amount, by your unit price. For example, 10 would be the quantity, the unit price would be 50. 15 would be quantity, the unit price 500. 20 would be quantity and a unit price 100. And to get the total, you're going to have to multiply a quantity by the price that you pay for the item, and that will give you your total. And then you find your trade discount and then your cash discount. So work that out, guys. Let's go on to number 5. Explain the meaning of the term just in time as it relates to inventory management. So what's just in time? Well, just in time refers to purchase of materials and production if items are done as needed or at the required time to meet the actual demands of customers and not before, right? So items just in time refers to purchase of materials and production of items. Production of items are done as needed or at the required time to meet the actual demands of customers and not before. So a person orders something, it is being prepared just as it is being ordered, right? It is not ordered, it is not made and put aside. No. So that would be your answer. When the customer ordered, it is made just in time for them. Okay, let's move on to question number 5B. State 2 disadvantages of having too much stock. What are some disadvantages of having too much stock? Let's look at some of them. 1. Capital would be tied up that could otherwise earn money. 2. Certain items, for example, perishable good, might deteriorate. 3. Storage space is occupied or the stockroom becomes overcrowded. 4. Higher storage fees or security and insurance costs or theft. 5. Stock may become obsolete or go out of fashion. So those are some disadvantages that you could select 2 from, and you will be awarded 4 years. You will be awarded 2 marks. Let's move on to question number 5C. State 2 functions of the marketing office. What are some functions of the marketing office? 1. Promoting the firm's products or services. 2. Designing marketing strategies or innovative ideas. 3. organizing promotional activities. 4. Preparing a marketing budget for the firm. 5. Using different media to advertise the firm's products. 6. Liaising with advertising agencies. So any two from that would be your answer. Let's move on to this is question number 5D. This is a purchase order. This one involves some workings that you are going to have to fill out this form and put in the information based on what is given at the top. So this one you could do, all right, fill out the information that was given up at the top. So that one will take a little time. So you could look at the question and then fill out the purchase order form. And then you do the workings. Very easy. Let's move on to the second part of the question. What action should Pete Danvers take if paper delivered was the wrong size? So he ordered some paper, right? He ordered different sizes of paper, right? What if no, he got the wrong size? What could he do? Let's see what action he could take. 1. He could make a note of the errors on the document presented. 2. Call and inform the firm of the error and ask the firm to deliver the correct size paper as soon as possible. 3. As well as to inform the accounts department not to make payment until the correct size paper have been received. So those are 3 actions that Mr. Pete Danvers could take if he got the wrong paper size. And let's move on. Let's move on to our next question. All right. Nothing has been omitted. Let's move on to question number 6A. List 4 functions of the corporate communications clerk. 4 functions. What are some? 1. Promotes and enhances the public image of the company. 2. Interfaces with media houses and advertising agencies to create public awareness of goods and services. 3. Assist in creating the company's newsletter, magazine, calendar to highlight the firm's activities. 4. Maintains the company's website with up-to-date information. 5. Plans social activities or liaises with employees and their families. 6. Coordinates and sponsors events that show the company's corporate social responsibility. So, any 4 from those 6 you could choose. Any 4. All right. Let's move on to question number 6B. Identify two tasks that the customer service clerk should perform in assisting with the maintenance of a website. Two tasks. One, researches correct information to be assessed or placed on the website. Two, identifies outdated information to be removed. Three, processes or posts documents or information to be uploaded or answer questions. Four, proofreads information to be placed on the site. So, those are some tasks that the customer service clerk would perform to maintain a website. So, any two from the four you could select. And you will be awarded 2 marks. Let's move on to question number 6C. Okay, so we have here, it says Mr. Charleston, an angry customer, storms into Morel Motors and a foreign conversation takes place between him and the customer service clerk. Customer service clerk says, "Good morning, Mr. Charleston. May I help you?" Mr. Charleston said, "This is nonsense. This is the second time in 2 months I'm in here with this car. It's just 2 months old. You people don't seem to know what you're doing. A new car and it needs a part already? I was promised that someone would call me when the part came in, and not a word have I heard from anyone." The customer service clerk says, "Mr. Charleston, there's no need for you to behave like that. After all, it's only a car. Besides, we've been busy with other customers, and I have no idea when that part will be in. You'll just have to wait." Mr. Charleston, what? The customer service in this place stinks. I demand to see the brand manager. I want my money back now. I'll never do business with this company again. So here is it now. The first question says, identify 3 rules of good customer service relations, which the customer service clerk at Morel Motors failed to observe. So let's look at 3 rules of good customer service. 1. Handle customer complaints politely and with patience or respect. 2. Have knowledge of the product's expected arrival. 3. Answer questions or queries promptly. 4. Make the customer feel he's always right and that his concerns are important. 5. Update customer about the status of parts or products requested. 6. Offer apology or layers between customer and company. So those are 6 things that describe good customer service relations, all right? That the customer service clerk could have done, right? So let's move on to the next question. Number 2. State 3 ways in which such actions will affect the company. If this clerk continues to deal with customers in the same manner Mr. Charleston was treated, how would the action of a customer clerk, how is it going to affect the business? Well, 1, they're going to have loss of customers or company loyalty, and business will be lost to competitors. 2. Reduction of profits or sales. 3. The company could gain a bad reputation. 4. Customer will be dissatisfied or discourage potential customers. 5. Possible failure of business could become a court issue. So, these are 5 things that actions that the clerks, if the clerk continue or the company continue to deal with customers in that way, then these are the actions that is going to, this is how it's going to affect the company. Not in a good way. Not in a good way, in a bad way. Okay, let's move on to number 3. 6, 8, 3. Instead of removing the clerk from the job or firing, what 3 actions could a company take to improve this clerk's handling of customers? All right. 1, the company could provide training. 2, it could reprimand or warn or discipline the clerk. 3, assign a mentor or supervisor. 4, provide counseling during our meeting. 5, place on probation or suspend or demote. 6, self-evaluation or reflection or apologize. So those are some actions that could be taken to improve the clerk's handling of customers. All right. Let's move on to number 7, our final question on the May-June 2015 past paper. The A question says, list 3 duties of the clerk in a dispatch office. 3 duties. What are some duties? 1, prepare and complete documents for the dispatch of goods. For example, manifest, delivery note, destination sheet, freight note, bill of lading, and airway bill, certificate of insurance. 2, verifies the correct goods are sent or coordinates delivery of goods. 3, maintains a database of couriers and other transport contractors and agents and participate in the negotiation process in trying to obtain the cheapest price for the best service. 5, liaise with the sales and production departments in scheduling deliveries. 6, liaise with accounts department passing on payroll information. 7, allocates loads to available vehicles or monitors the dispatch and transport of goods on a timely basis. So any 3 from these could be your answer. Select any 3. All right. Let's move on to question number 7B. Identify 3 items of information apart from the price or price list that may be found in a catalog. 3 items of information, all right? 1, a description or illustration or benefit of items, goods or services being offered. 2, stock of product number. 3, procedures for ordering the product. For example, site from which to order or method of payment or contact information. 4, Discounts being offered or special offers. 5. Delivery terms or terms and conditions of sales and return policy. All right. So any three from these would be your answer. Okay. Let's move on to question number 7. C. So we have, this is an extract of an advice note. All right. So we see the advice note here. Take a look at it. Right, office, we see 24 office outfits, 24 Baldwin Avenue, Newport, St. John's, Antigua. We have the advice note number, tells us to give us the date and the order number and the terms, and we have the dispatch details in it. All right, and we have the business they're sending to and their address. So here it says, suggest 2 actions that the seller could take if goods are not dispatched to the customer by 6th of a 10 of 20 of 14. All right. So what are 2 actions that the seller could take to ship if they don't get the goods by that day? 1. Apologize to buyer or offer incentive or discount. 2. Investigate the cause of the delay or write a report. 3. Communicate with buyer promptly. 4. Arrange for dispatch at earliest date. So these are some actions that could be taken. So any 2 from these would be your answer. Let's move on to question number 7D. The owner of FTC Business Institute wants to get some information from a supplier about products for his business and is advised to use an inquiry. Advise him of 1 benefit he could gain by using an inquiry to get information from suppliers. 1 benefit. 1. Provision of detailed quotations in turn from suppliers which allow for negotiations of discounts and time frames for supplying products or choosing the best terms of sale. 2. Quotations are usually accompanied by leaflets, catalogs of price lists, giving details of the products or choosing the best products. 3. Quotations can be compared with those received from other suppliers for decision making or choosing the best price. 4. Adequate information provided to enable selection of best supplier. So anyone from these answer would give you 2 marks. All right. Let's move on to question this, the 2 section of this D question. The next step to take in the purchasing procedures after deciding on the supplier. What's the next step? Place the order for products needed using a purchase order form. So the next step after deciding on the supplier. So you go ahead and place the order. All right, that would be your answer. Let's look at 7E. You are assigned the responsibility of maintaining a mailing list for the sales department at YouTube IT Resource Inc. Incorporation. A most valued customer handed you a letter complaining of not receiving any correspondence from the company since moving to her new address. Suggest two ways the company could maintain its mailing list to communicate effectively with customers. So you know you have to give some explanation here. 4 marks. So let's look at two ways we could suggest. One, complete the current mailing list with adequate information on existing and potential customers. You could expand on that in details. Two, computer generated to produce accurate and updated information at regular intervals. That's another way. Three, deletion of old addresses and new ones added as the need arises. So you'll keep updating the information. 4, attended to by a responsible and reliable sales clerk or personnel to maintain database. 5, giving no unnecessary information or extra addresses which could inflate the cost of mailing, printing, and stationery. So any two from this you could suggest, and then you could explain a little more in details. That in that way you'd be awarded your 4 marks. So you could explain any two in details. Okay, let's move on. So that's it. We've come to the end of the May-June 2015 CSEC Office Administration papers. So guys, pause the video, rewatch it, and share this video. Drop a comment in the comment section and subscribe to the channel so that you keep getting updated videos and you are notified as soon as possible. So hit that subscribe button. And until then, we'll see you in the next video.